Okay, testing this out. I don't think I've ever done it this way before. This is going to be a live stream. Okay, for today anyhow. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep talking here while I go over to my channel because I don't even know if I'm alive, okay? So I need to do this so I can see if I've gone live or not. Okay, on here, live streaming is off. Okay. According to this, I'm live. 43 seconds, 42 seconds. Okay, so with that being said, this is merely a test on my side. Okay. Oh, I see a chat on my side here. Okay. Live chat. Okay. I don't see anybody typing at this time. It shows I'm alive. I don't know if I'm alive or not. Okay, so we'll hang out a second and see if I'm actually alive. Because I've never done them this way before. I'm normally using the OBS Studio, but the OBS Studio seems to be being blocked for whatever reason. And I've come up this way. Now it says I'm alive, but I don't know if I'm alive. I really honestly don't. And the only way I'm going to know is if somebody shows up, I guess. You know, I got no other way of knowing if I'm alive or not at this point. I suppose I could open another browser, attempt to go to my channel. Yep, it looks like I'm alive. Okay, so if I'm alive, as it says, then I should be able to come here. Mute the volume. Yes, I am. Okay. It appears I am alive, but I wasn't seeing nothing. I've never done it this way before. The OBS Studio, for whatever reason, has been having a glitch and not letting me come up and do a live stream. And so I tried a different route. This is the first time I've done it this way. So anyhow, until I can figure out what's going on with the OBS Studio, it seems to be working fine. It says it's connected. Okay, and I've got the streaming code in properly. And as I've done all of my other live streams, but for whatever reason, I decided to say that it is connected to the server but cannot connect to the host, which should be Google, which should be YouTube. So I don't know. At first I thought, well, did YouTube block me? They haven't given me no strikes. Don't say that I'm not able to live stream. So I went and did a different thing that I've never done before, and here I am. I think this is the way Steve Hoka does it. Now I haven't figured out how to get a key to bring people in yet. I guess this will be a touch and go situation. But anyhow, yeah, let's have a chat since it seems that I am alive. Okay. Yeah, I checked it out by going to my other channel because on the actual live streams that I'm seeing here, I've got the chat box, but nothing's showing up in it. That's right. It's not showing me any, I see people in here when I go to my channel. So I guess I had to go to my channel and mute my volume so I could actually see the chat box. So it looks like Jeff Ashton's here. Well, he was here. Don't look like he's here now. It looks like it has started it all over again for the chat session, so I don't know. Okay. Okay, he is here. Thank you, Jeff. I had no way of knowing. I really honestly don't because I've had some glitches going on and I've had to put my operating system back in twice because of glitches and I got through all that, it was just a pain in my what. Okay, so I've redone my operating system. I went from Windows 7 Pro over to Windows 10. Okay, and here I am. But I want to talk a little bit. I was watching the last video that Steve Hoka posted, okay? And I don't necessarily totally agree with him, but then hey, Steve has the right to his own opinion. I told you I like Steve. I consider Steve a good man, but you know how life is. We don't always agree upon things. And I guess I don't agree upon his unique theory of bringing men together for one reason mainly. Okay. Yes, I want to see men brought together, and it's a very controversial subject. I would love to see the competition stop because Steve said some very valuable stuff in that video. Everything's competition. It's a damn sport. It's an arena. It's competition. And men are all competing for the validation of a female. And this is what you see going on in society, and they're throwing each other under the bus, dumping all over each other, all for their opposite gender. Meanwhile, while doing so, the female's getting off on that, and she's playing into it. She's loving it, okay? Because it feeds her ego. Sure does. And it keeps us down and keeps her above us, doesn't it? Yes. Now, the reason I don't agree with Steve's theory is because he says we can spread our seed by sperm banks by donating our semen, and then at least that you'll be able to spread your seed. Well, the problem I have with that is what about all the men that would love to have children of their own and raise their own children? Did you disregard them, men? What are you saying? Men should spread their seed by through sperm banks to some female who can still use the court system to rape you for child support, okay, and never get to see your child and not be a part of raising your child's life? See, that's the only reason I disagree with that. I understand what Steve's saying, and I agree that what he's saying would put men a whole lot less competition in the manosphere, and then men would be able to maybe get along again and get together and work together and blah blah blah. But it's so controversial because there has to be another way. There has to be another way, and for me, the other way is for people to get their heads out of their what. Excuse me, hate to say that, but for me, it would be when people get their heads out of their what and stop placing their opposite gender above themselves and stop this game mentality that's going on in our society that everything's a damn game, that it's all a competition. And when we start recognizing each other as human beings and not a competition, not by looks, not by anything, not by stats, not by fame. Now, I know that's a hard one for people to swallow because they're so hooked up in the matrix that they think they have to have all these items that they've been socially programmed and engineered into wanting. No, it's not in your DNA. No, it's not biologically in you to be this way. This has all been socially engineered, and it's been going on since even before I was a child myself. The programming and what's happened to everybody in this earth. Mark Passio says what is going on in our world. He would be correct. What is going on? But when you look at the real truth, social engineering, what they've done, and and I understand what Steve's talking about, okay, because he was trying to eliminate the competition. That's right, the sport, the arena, the game. You have to eliminate that. That's for sure. Steve's right about that. He really is. But I don't think being unique is the answer. I was talking with Warren yesterday, and he's he's on the version that he don't see any other way of changing this outside of sex bots. Okay, outside of sex bots, and that's years off, maybe years from now, decades or whatever from now, 50 years from now, or 20 years from now, or whatever. Sex bots are the first people are going to be really cute code names, blah blah blah, like they did with the sex dolls in their toy stores. Your adult toy stores, and really cute for that. Yeah, I see that happening. I agree with Warren in a lot of aspects that if everything went to sex dolls and men started walking away from women because they could have a sex doll that didn't talk back, didn't carry diseases, didn't use them for an ATM machine. Lie and lie and more lies, Warren says to me. He says, as old as I am, and all the women I've met in my life, and I've never met an honest one. And I said, well, Warren, I'm older than you, and I hate to say it, but you're correct, because I have yet to meet an honest woman myself. Now, I'm not saying men ain't just as dishonest, because I'm telling you, in today's society, finding honest people is like finding a dinosaur egg. But I'll tell you what, I know Steve Hoke is brutally honest. Ha ha, you're dang right. I know Steve Hoke is honest. I know I'm honest. There are a few of us out there, but man, we're so far, far, far few between. Now, Jeff Ashton here, he seemed to be, well, he did. He seemed to be honest. He was on my show. I liked the way he spoke. I liked what he talked about, and he seems to present himself as an honest person. And because he has a female in his life is no different than anybody else. We all want that, don't we? Yes, we do. So right now at this time, I'm only seeing Jeff Ashton in here, so I have no idea if I have other people in this chat or not. I can't answer that. I just cannot answer that at all. We'll just have to wait to see. It seems that some things are being kept away from me here or something. There he is. Jeff Ashton now showed up here. I'm on the other side here. I think this is what Steve sees when I see Jeff Ashton. I don't see a number for how many people's in the chat, how many people might be listening. I'm still getting used to this. Okay. Maybe it's over on the other side here. 5 people. Okay, perhaps that's the number. I don't know. But anyhow, I didn't advertise this as going to be a live stream, so it's not about the numbers because this will eventually go up on my channel anyhow, as far as I know. I've never done it this way. I do have this in the live. I don't have this in the private that I can put it up later. And Steve does this type of recording or doing his live streams a whole lot more than I do. Okay, this is the way Steve does it. I haven't figured out how he gets the links to bring people in yet. Okay, but I'm here. It allowed me to come up here. Here I am. So, okay. It just wouldn't let me use the OBS studio for whatever reason. I haven't figured out what's going on with that. It seems to be blocked from Google or for whatever. Right at this point in time, I'm going to have to play with that program more, but I did not feel like going into it today. I've spent so much time working on this PC in the last week. It's pathetic. Okay. I had issues that showed up after an update, a major update that corrupted Chrome. Everything else worked fine but Chrome. I did everything I could to get Chrome going. It didn't matter what I did, it wouldn't work. I even got technical assistance in my computer to help me with Chrome, and they couldn't fix it neither. They told me to call Google. Isn't that a joke? I was told to call the entity that we all know is evil, that don't have a phone number or any kind of public assistance to help people with their own web browser. They're so criminal that they hide themselves from the public. At least I can say, even we know Bill Gates is an elitist, but you know what? I was able to get hold of Microsoft. That's right. Microsoft actually has a support line you can call and you can get help with Windows and updates and other issues that are caused by updates. They got some technical assistance in Microsoft. Matter of fact, I had Microsoft talk to Microsoft about this Google Chrome issue after their update, and I proved it was their update. Okay, they came into my PC and they couldn't fix the damn Chrome neither, but they gave me an idea that I tried and it worked. I got Chrome going again, but I'm telling you what, I went through hell. Okay, but anyhow, that's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work goes into reformatting your hard drive and putting your Windows running system back on your PC brand new, and if you got all the programs and stuff I've got, reinstalling everything and doing everything you have to do that goes along with that, and any links you have, anything, you gotta have everything backed up. I've always backed my stuff up, okay? But even with it backed up, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, okay? I know because I've done it more than once in my life, and I just got through going all that again because Windows 7 goes out at the end of the year in December. Was already having update issues with Windows 7, so I did away with Windows 7 and put Windows 10 on. So here I am. I'm running on Windows 10 now. But back to the manosphere. I want to see men come together. I want to see men stop fighting and arguing amongst each other. I really do. I want to see society stop thinking everything's a damn game. Even Steve's words about the competition and a unique society. I can agree with a lot of what Steve said in the video. The only issue I ever had with anything that he ever said was the fact that why, in my eyes, this is in my opinion, okay? This is not in Steve's opinion. This is in my opinion because Steve is Steve and I am me and I like Steve and that ain't going to change, right? And this is never no attack on Steve at all. I will not do that, okay? I'm only giving my opinion, but in my opinion, if you was to donate your semen to spread your seed, that is still giving in to the evil in my book, the way I feel about it. And I'm like, why would you be willing to donate your semen if you've been rejected by your opposite gender your whole life? If she'd been rejecting you, she's not going to want your semen anyhow. That's the way I would think. And if it was a woman desperate enough to want your semen, but still going to reject being with you or knowing you or being anything about you, why would you even give her the time of day to give you your semen? That would be my opinion. That's my opinion. I wouldn't. My opinion is if they want to continue the male bashing through the media and the programming and the social engineering and keep putting men down and keep putting men down, and men want to be stupid enough to get in these battles over their opposite gender and continue the war of the genders because they want to fall for the social engineering, then I guess if you're going to smash yourself in the head with a hammer because you're a man, this is my opinion. If you are going to smash yourself in the head with a hammer because you're a man, and you're going to smash other men down too, then why don't we just make it mandatory when a baby boy's born that we don't go ahead and neuter them? You won't have to worry about the semen. The sperm banks are spreading your seed because they won't be able to get a female pregnant anyhow. Now, I know that's not what the women want to hear, but then since the women want to be so picky that they're only going to chase 20% of the population and shit all over the rest of the population and walk high on their pedestal as we pamper them, and they're going to have male bashing on your television set 365 days a year, and none of you men are going to be bothered by that because you're too weak, you're simps, you're cowards. You won't speak out about it. You won't complain about it. You won't go picket Hollywood. You won't stand up for yourselves. You're just going to continuously be put up with being male bashed year after year after year. And every time you turn on your TV set, you're just going to keep putting up with that. And you're going to call that normal. That's psychotic. The only thing I can think of is we've all become cowards, except for the few that are willing to call it for what it is, like myself. You can't go complain about the women's taking over the MRA and the feminist hijacking the men's rights movement, and how they've done nothing for us, which is exactly what's happened. They've done nothing for us. Okay? How can you honestly complain about that? Because you're not complaining about the male shaming that's going on in the media. No, not at all. You don't see that coming down, do you? You don't see anybody complaining about Hollywood and all the sitcoms and all the movies and all the commercials and the on, and the list that goes on of the male shaming on a regular basis. Putting the man down. I guess if we wanted to hear complaining about that, we'd have to flip the script and have it about women, putting women down. Every day of the week, turn on TV, set the women are being put down. I guess that's about the only way we'd be able to do that, huh? I don't know anymore. I really don't. I just don't know what to tell you. I can only tell you this. I don't understand why men ain't getting angry about that. Why they're just bending over and taking it. And then they're going to say they're brave, strong men, huh? No, that's the opposite. That's called being a coward. That's called not standing up for yourself. And this is the problem I see with men. Men want to think because they stand up to another man and I'll beat your ass and all this and all that, excuse my language. But they want to think that because they're standing up to another man, that makes them a man. No, that doesn't. When you stand up to your opposite gender, I'm not talking about hitting her. I'm not talking about punching her. I'm not talking about using a weapon. I'm talking about just standing up for your rights as a human being against their opposite gender. When you can do that, then you become the definition of a man. But the majority of you won't do that, will you? You know you won't do that. Why? Well, we'll scare all the women off. You mean you're going to scare all the corruption off? Isn't that what it really is? You're so afraid the women will ostracize you and put you in that spot. And the only reason you ever got the power to put you in that spot to begin with is because you sat back and did nothing and allowed it. The same thing you're doing right now when it comes to the male shaming on that television set. Millions and millions of men are just sitting back and allowing it. And then we got the men that, for the tool, for the money, are willing to be part of that and go on there and make themselves into a complete bumbling idiot for the public, all for money. And be a part of putting themselves down. See what I said about taking the hammer and smashing yourself over the head? Do you remember what I said about men taking the hammer and beating themselves over the head all the time? So they're going to beat themselves over the head for money, making themselves into a monkey for the public, making themselves look just like the TV set said, you know. I guess that movie called Network was right when that guy got up there and screaming and yelling and said, you're dressing like a TV set, acting, walking, and talking and acting like a TV set. How correct he was. Because isn't that what all of you are doing? That's exactly what's going on. Social engineering's done a really good job on people. It's turned them into cowards. You know, I don't see too many people want to get into the chat here and talk, but that's all right. I appreciate Jeff Ashton letting me know he was here. At least this way I got to know that people are seeing me. I know I didn't advertise the live stream or give you a time. I just came up and did it. That's because I was trying to come up a few times. Couldn't get up because the OBS studio keeps failing. Even after completely uninstalling it and completely deep clean uninstall, making sure there's nothing left and putting it all back on again. Get it working just fine. put in the streaming code, and it says it's connected to the server just fine. It's connected to the internet. It's all working fine. But unable to connect to the host, which would be YouTube, which would be Google. So it sounds to me, by what I've been running into with the OBS studios, that YouTube has blocked me from live streaming through the OBS studio. So maybe this is the last live stream you see for a while. When they figure out that I'm doing it this way, they'll block me from this too, huh? I wouldn't be surprised. It's called censorship. They call that censorship. And the only people that censor people are people that are evil, that are corrupt, sick, evil people to begin with. That's right. So, if you're corrupt, if you're evil, you're corrupt, you're a criminal, you're a parasite on our planet. If you're one of them people, the parasites, the scum of our planet, you'll be right there acting the way that they've been acting. You see it all over the place. It's been going on for so long. Operation Shut the Truth Down. Let's let not the truth be heard. Let's let that lie be heard. And that's what people are being fed every day is lie, 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 lie. And then they're falling for the lie and believing in the lie and can't figure out why they're in the shape they're in. People don't want to look for the problem, the cause to a problem. The root cause. But I wanted to get up here and do a rant, so I tried the other way, and I got to do that for now anyhow, right? If you don't see me come up on do live streams after the day, then you can figure that I'll have to do a video and let you know why. It'll probably be because I've been blocked from doing live streams, right? Because it appears that this is what they've done with the OBS studio, that they've blocked me from using it to access my live streams. Don't surprise me any. So I had to come up and do it the other way. But that's all right. That's what I did. Here I am. Obviously, I'm alive. So, but my problem is simple. I don't want to have a situation where this continues to go on, but I don't see any way of stopping it. I agree with Steve. The men need to be brought together. I've said this. My goal for the end of 2019 would be to get the men to get their heads out of their you-know-what. But I also told you I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't expect to meet that goal. Because everything's gone backwards. More men were willing to call into the radio show and come forward and talk about this stuff 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was when I was doing the radio show. We had a whole lot more men willing to come forward than I see now. Now it seems like everybody's looking for excuses to make excuses. Just like Steve Hoka wanting people to come in and do an interview with him or whatever, or come up on his live stream the other day when I seen him doing his live stream, and he was struggling to get anybody to want to do it. Seemed like none of you wanted to come up there with him. You didn't want to talk to him. You wanted to be there in the chat box, and that was as far as you'd go. And unfortunately, that is the problem. Because you're not willing to speak out yourself. It's like you want everybody else to do your work for you. You don't want to take any responsibility yourself. And this is one of the problems I see straight across the board on the internet. Doesn't matter if you're a truther on the other side, speaking out against NWO and all the corruption in society, or if you're over here speaking out about the manosphere. It seems we have a whole bunch of cowards. I mean, anymore, and I hate to say that, I really do, because I'm not trying to put you down. But the reality is the reality. When it comes to taking responsibility, When I tell you to do unto one as you want done unto yourself, the majority of you won't do it because it involves self-discipline. It involves in taking action and being self-aware of your own actions and recognizing right from wrong. And because it involves this responsibility of self-discipline and recognizing right from wrong, you won't go near it. You'll run from it because you don't want responsibility. And that would be the same reason that you won't come up there and get on there with Steve Hoka. But you'll be right there faithfully in that chat when he goes live. It'd be the same damn thing. And he shouldn't have to beg you to come in and talk about what's affecting your life. You should be man enough to want to do it. Instead of counting on him doing it for you. He shouldn't have to be doing it for you, and I shouldn't be here doing it for you. You should be willing and wanting to speak up against this. How are you ever going to change anything if you're not willing to take the responsibility to stand up to it? That's really where this comes from. How would you ever change anything if you're not going to take the responsibility of standing up to it? You know, and I don't know what to tell you. I can only tell you that if we don't change our mindsets, people, and get ourselves out of this mindset and start growing a few gonads and standing up for yourselves, and I'm not talking about standing up for yourselves against another guy online because you're busy playing the game. You gotta lose the game mentality. Life is not a freaking game. Everything cannot be based on competition. You wonder why society got as bad as it's gotten is because everything's been turned into competition. And I mean everything. From getting a woman to getting a job to being successful to, I mean, across the board. Oh, he drives a better car than me, so I got to outdo him. Oh, his lawn's better than mine, I got to outdo him. And the list just goes on and on and on. As we've turned everything into a game, a sport, an arena. And then we wonder why we're in the shape we're in, huh? When I said mankind's epic failure was their ability to grow the hell up, I wasn't kidding. Because the epic failure of mankind from the beginning of time is their ability to grow up. Y'all want to claim you're growing up by a number. That age, that number. I'm sorry, that don't qualify you as a grown-up. I hate to break the bad news to you, but that don't qualify you as a grown-up. You can just be an overgrown child. You know, men are constantly saying women are nothing but children. Women are nothing but children. I see that statement being said about women all the time by men. While I look at the big man child calling another woman a child from her behavior while he's acting like a child himself. And I know I'm going to piss a few of you men off saying this stuff, but I really don't care if I piss you off because it's the freaking truth. The epidemic of today's society is your ability to grow up. I wish it wasn't that way. I don't want it to be that way, but, you know, I've been up here speaking out for a long time. I've had my channels censored. I've had my videos taken down. I've had my channels taken down. I've been called chauvinist. I've been called a misogynist. I've been called everything bad under the book. I've been attacked over and over and over and over and over again by people that don't even know me. You know, I've had all this stuff happen to me speaking out, and I've still here, still speaking out. But I just don't see other people with the gonads to get up there and speak the damn truth and not be afraid of what other people think about them. I think the majority of people, unfortunately, are hooked in on being worried about what somebody else might think about them. And that's sad. It really is. That's a sad state of affairs when you worry about what somebody else might think of you. Because that means you're not even being your own individual human being. You're not even being yourself. You're allowing another person to control your behaviors. That's what you're really doing. Even if you say you're not, you are. Because there's no two ifs, ands about it. How could it be anything other than just that? You know? And even then, like right now, I've been talking here for what, 36 minutes now, and the only person that said anything in this chat is Jeff. He let me know he was here, and I appreciate him for that. But nobody has said a dang thing to me about anything that's listening to this live stream. None of you are typing in here. Now, if I was Steve Hoke, you'd be typing away, wouldn't you? What does that show about people? Yeah. Am I just too brutally honest for you? Are you more scared of me than you are, Steve? Or what's the real deal here? Or you just don't want to make an opinion on what I'm talking about because you know I'm right and you got nothing to say about it? I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm not going to go there. I'm not forcing you to get on your keyboard and type. I mean, I'd love to see you do more than that. I'd love to see you come up onto a live stream. I'd love to see you doing your own live streams or making your own videos and putting your face out there and not being afraid of what other people thought of you and just being yourself and not being somebody else. Well, Steve can be very provocative, yes. So is that why everybody will type into his chat, not this one? Okay. I don't know. I know you're here. I appreciate Jeff Ashton. I mean, Jeff, you come on a live stream with me once. I think you were pretty fair. I think you were well spoken. Okay, I really do. I got nothing against you. Well, the old material would get me evicted from YouTube quicker. Do you understand that? The censorship ramped up, man. I've lost what, 3 channels? 4 channels now? I've lost 3 or 4 channels. I've literally lost thousands of videos. I couldn't do what I used to do years ago because I wouldn't be here. They'd take me out over and over and over and over, and you'd have to keep trying to find me over and over and over. Okay? It's like Steve. Steve couldn't do it neither because if Steve tried, they'd take him out. Censorship is on his womb and they're watching the P's and Q's of how people talk and they hate truth with a passion. So, you got no choice but to tame yourself down if you're going to get your message out there. Steve can be very provocative to people, yes, but Steve is Steve. I like Steve Hoka. Steve Hoka is Steve Hoka. He's not Bill. And I am me. Do you understand that? But Steve is brutally honest. I love Steve for his honesty. I really do. And because I don't agree with him totally on his unique theory, what he talked about the other day, I understood where he's coming from. I understood why he said it. Because he, like myself, would like to see the men stop fighting one another and come together. Because as I said, the common denominator amongst men are we're all experiencing the same types of problems regardless of your incel, TFL, a man going your own way. It doesn't matter what label you're giving yourself, you're still experiencing the same type of problems that the rest of the men are. That is the common denominator. Okay? And so, with that being the common denominator, why can't men figure that out and stop with this damn labeling and this bashing? And the only thing I can think of is because you're so busy trying to one up each other. Because you're for the wrong reasons. I understand what you're saying, Alan. But it wouldn't matter what your tongue is if you were speaking to the people of your native tongue in your tongue. No more than you understand English perfectly or you can speak it really well. I got a friend in Germany who speaks 3 tongues. He speaks English, speaks German, and speaks Russian. And he does it fluently. And he understands all 3 tongues fluently. Okay? But my issue is the simplest thing I can say is this. In the manosphere, we are experiencing the same types of problems. None of us like it for real, right? For real in your life. You don't like what you're having to see going on and how you're being treated and what's being done to you. If you have to have money to get a woman, Jeff, then I say get rid of that woman. Because, see, she needs to like you for you, not your materialistic world. You're not an ATM machine. No, you're not. Wrong timing. I'm on a live stream. See, you're not an ATM machine, Jeff. I'm not an ATM machine. No man is an ATM machine. No man owes a woman her living or all of her wants. Nobody ever gets all of their wants in life. None of us. Okay? That's part of growing up is to realize you don't get all of your wants. You work to make a living. Okay? But how important is money? Unfortunately, money is what's keeping you enslaved. Money is what's keeping us all enslaved. Money is what's keeping you from people from speaking out, people from standing up. See, this is why I don't see the powers to be ever just crashing your monetary system without having a replacement for it immediately. Because as hooked up on money as people are, that would be the one thing that would anger people so bad that they'd all go after them. But outside of that, that's what's keeping you enslaved too. Money, okay? How important do you think money is when it comes to trying to get a woman? I don't even worry about that because I look at it for what it really is. If you have to have money to get a woman, you don't need that woman because this means she's there for what you have. If you have to have money for her to give you the time of day, you don't want her anyhow. Get rid of her. She's garbage. She's trash. She's not good for you, and it's not good for you to be with somebody like that. You best off not be with somebody like that. See, they need to like you for you, not what you have. I don't care if you live in an efficiency, 1-room efficiency with this little dinky bathroom and a little dinky kitchen and just a 1-room efficiency with a bathroom and a kitchen in it. And you got your bed over there and room for a little table and a chair and what have you. I don't care if that's what you live in and that's what you can afford and you're riding a bicycle because you don't got a car. That's not an excuse for a woman to not give you the time of day. Okay, that is not no excuse. She's no better than you because she's a female. You don't owe her her living. See, it's the mentality, thanks to social engineering and gender roles, that has caused this problem to begin with. There's women out here who really believe so cold-heartedly on what's been taught to them that as a guy, you have to have this, and provide her wants. And them are the women you need to avoid. Them are the women I would tell every single man to walk away from until they grow the hell up and realize that no, they do not owe this woman this. Not whatsoever. I mean, if I was to go back years and years and years, what, hundreds of years ago, back with the caveman days, where it was gather and hunt for your food for survival, and she was pregnant and you was protecting her because of your children, and she stayed there and took care of the children while you aren't providing, I agree with, okay, the roles that they're placing. But we're not back in them days. We're in a day where the women are in the workplace, and a lot of women are out earning the men, are making more than the men. No lie. There's a lot of women in higher positions than men in today's society. Women are making every bit as much as money as men and still trying to pretend that they're making less. That's right, pretend. They're not making less, they're just pretending they are. So they can still have something to bitch about. That's all that is. There is no excuse for why a woman can't take care of herself. It's called responsibility. It's called growing the hell up. Once again, I've said we failed at, right? Mm-hmm. So, of course, my answer to Jeff is simple. You don't owe her nothing. Yeah, that's correct, Jeff. You're so correct about that. Yep, and working long, your ass. Yeah, you're working your ass off. That's right. That's exactly what goes on. We up here, we working our tail off, working our tail off, working their tail off to try to please a woman, to try to get ahead, to try to be successful so they could buy what, a prostitute? And then the woman said, I'm not no prostitute. Well, if you have to have if he has to have a Rolls Royce or freaking a Corvette or something, and he has to have this many said figure, he's not allowed to be a blue collar. It has to be a white collar, and has to be a blue collar, whatever. No. If he has to have money in order for you to be with him, female, you don't belong with him, and he don't belong needing you. He can just get rid of you, walk away from you, not give you the time of day, which you've practiced doing to men over and over and over, not giving them the time of day. That's the definition of a real man, when he can actually really not give the woman the time of day. Why do you think men going their own way are so fraudulent? Because Steve's right. He's 100% correct. I've seen it for a long time. I called this out a long time ago. I do believe it was me that was the first one that said that men going their own way are not going their own way, that the majority of them are TFLers in denial. And I still stand by that. And when Steve says no, they're not, and these big toe monks, so-called monks, yeah, they're monks. They're monkeys, all right. They're making monkeys out of themselves. Because you know what they're doing behind the scene, and so do I. They're playing the game and jumping through the hoops and trying to get their, in the hole. That's right. They're not going their own way whatsoever. That's a fake persona they're putting on in the public eye on the internet. And you can take that to the bank. Guaranteed. And I don't care what people say. That is the fact. It's not that men shouldn't be going their own way. So that it was the answer. If you wanted to correct this issue, going your own way for real was the answer to fixing the problem with the genders. But it's not going to happen because men ain't taking it for real. And they're not doing it for real. They think they can come up here and lie their tail off to you, and you're not supposed to know they're lying. You're supposed to just be a bumbling idiot and believe them. No, not at all. I'm not their bumbling idiot. Now, why do you think they won't come up on Steve or me, come into a live stream and even debate us? Because they can't. They have no ammunition to come with because they can't prove what they're saying because they know they're lying to you. The difference between them and Steve Hoka is Steve Hoka's honest and he's not lying. The difference between them and me is I'm brutally honest like Steve is and I'm not lying to you. I don't come up here and lie to any of you. I never have and I never will. That's not who I am. I'm here to call it as it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for you. I'm not going to butter it up or sugarcoat it to make it sound all nice. And I'll be worried about your little feelers, that I might hurt your feelers. No. And I'm not worried about what other people think about me. I'm not going to sit there and try to fit in and worry about what other people think of me. If they don't like me and they know where the channel is, get out of here. Go, scat, scoot. Don't need you around. You don't know me personally anyhow. And the only reason you wouldn't like me is because I'm telling what? Truth that you didn't want to hear? And if you didn't want to hear it, then why would you be here? And I say that for a lot of the people going to Steve's chats. You know how many trolls I've seen over there trolling that man? Or the fakes that go up there and talk Steve up like they do me and then go behind your back. You find them on another channel, leaving a comment, slamming him to the ground. I've seen that behavior so many times. Them are what you call the two-faces. That's right. The two-faces, the frauds, the fakes. The I'm not real. I'm a piece of crap. I'm a parasite. Them are the parasites of our society. I don't look at Jeff Ashton as a parasite. Jeff Ashton seems to be real. And he did come up on a live stream with me, okay? He honestly did. And I appreciated that. I really did. And until I get the OBS studio running properly, it's going to be hard for me to do that. Not that he couldn't still call in and do a recording with me, it just wouldn't be live. I could get Jeff Ashton and we could do a recording still through Zoom, and he could use his phone and call me and we could talk back and forth. It just wouldn't be live for the public to hear. If it's going to be live for the public to hear, then I guess we'd have to do it the way Steve Hoke is, and I have to figure that one out yet unless I can get the OBS studio going. Because I've been using the OBS studio the whole time for all of my live streams. And I haven't been able to use it in the last, I've tried and I've tried, and even today, I completely uninstalled it, reinstalled it, got it working, updated the freaking live key stream on my channel, everything. And it still won't. No, it's connected. It says it's connected to the server, but we're not connected to the host, which would be Google. So that tells me they've blocked me. What else could it be, huh? That Google's decided to shut me up from doing live streams. Censorship, because I was speaking out about what? I was calling certain names and pointing out something that they're in the middle of doing that they don't like. Why do you think they did to me what they did to me that one night? Because I was pointing out something they're doing in the manosphere being the next target of red flag laws. That's why. And possible, most likely, military media industrial complex right here on YouTube in the manosphere. Plants. And I pointed these people out to you and showed you it and told you it. And That's most likely why they blocked my live stream ability. They knew I was using the OBS studio, so they cut me off. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut me off this way next. Just because they'll see that I've done it the way Steve's done, and they'll come and block that one next. If my live streams disappears because they're taking that ability away from me because they don't like truth. They're busy showing you that I've told you the truth. They're busy telling on themselves. They're busy being parasites, perfect little order followers. Shut up the truth. Shut people up who tell the truth. That's what that is. Shut people up who tell the truth. That's all that's about. Can't have that. Couldn't have people telling the truth, right? Isn't that what they're really saying? Yeah. But you know what Jeff brought up about women and money? A lot of men need to understand this. You know, I'd love to see the men come together. I'm all with Steve on that. Okay, I've joined part of his unique theory I disagree with is the fact that you can donate your semen, donate your seed, you know, to spread your seed. I totally disagree with that because of the fact that you're not taking into considerations about the men who wanted one good woman in their life and would like to have had their own children to raise. To be right there with the woman they love, raising their children. To be part of their children's life. You're taking that away from them men. If you go with that unique theory, you're denying men that right. Why would you even donate your damn seed? Why would you put your seed out there if you can't be part of it? Why would you even put your seed out there? If you can't be part of raising your kid's life and have that child in your life, then why? What for? Why even go there? You might as well have a sex bot. Maybe we should promote the sex bots, huh? And everybody could just have a sex bot. You know, I mean, that's really where this comes from. Ah, I see. How about that way? There we go. I removed that person from the chat. That person deserved to be removed. They thought they were funny, that they could come in and be a troll. It was awesome just to come in and be a troll. Sure was. It was awesome removing you. It's awesome how you only got one word out that didn't stay. The stupidity of people, the dumbness of people. But I honestly, you know, I like Steve Hoke a lot. I agree with a lot of stuff Steve said in that video, totally across the board. I just didn't agree with the fact of leaving men out from ever having a chance to ever have their own children, be part of their children's life with the person they love and raise their children. And this is the reason I would disagree with donating my semen. You're going to be rejected your whole life by these women and dumped on, and you're going to watch the male shaming and male bashing over and over and over and never get frustrated with it, never get angry at it, never say nothing about it, you know, then how would you ever expect it to stop? Because I'll guarantee you the women would never put up with it. I'll guarantee you we flipped the script that was female bashing and shaming on TV year round. there would be a gigantic outcry in society by women, and it would come to a stop. But I guess the TV set's right. Men are nothing but dumb, stupid idiots, cowards. That's what men are. Dumb, stupid idiots. Just completely dumb, completely stupid. Couldn't do anything right. Yellow belly cowards. How else am I supposed to think? Look at the men. They want to throw each other under the bus to continue to look like an idiot to a woman. Isn't that what they're doing? To continue to look like an idiot to a female. We'll throw each other under the bus. We'll dump all over each other. That's what they're really doing, isn't it? Yeah. How about growing up and stop thinking everything's a game? How about recognizing the common denominator? How about paying attention to the TV set and becoming angry like you should be? Like you should be, becoming angry at what they're doing. How about getting together by the thousands and going down there and marching all over their damn ass? And while we're doing that, take our cameras so we can film and come back and place it all over the internet. Let the world see it regardless. So this way, if they suppress the mainstream media down to keep them out of it so they can hide it from the world, you can post it all over the internet and let the world see it anyhow. How about fighting back? See, that would be taking responsibility. That'd be called fighting back. But you're not going to do that now, are you? You might think somebody might think something different of you. You might be worried about what somebody thought about you. Or you might scare some corrupt woman off, right? Who could take advantage of you and lie to you and use you. So that's our world, man. We're all freaking using one another. That's another topic that goes right into this. How people are just taking advantage of other people and using people just for their own self-gain. Not caring what you do onto somebody else. Is that another reason you don't like to practice what I talked about? Do unto one as you want done unto yourself. Would that be another reason for that? Guaranteed it is. Because you don't want to practice what I've told you before. You do unto one as you want done unto yourself. Recognize right from wrong and do unto somebody that you wouldn't want done unto you. You wouldn't want to practice that because that means personal responsibility, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. You know it as well as I do. Not much I can say about that. But I'll tell you what, I'm still gonna be around. I'm still gonna do stuff. I don't know when I'll do something with Steve Hoke again. That'll be up to Steve. He's a busy man. He has his life. I have my life. You know. But I'm sure Steve and I'll do something again. Okay, just because I disagree with part of what Steve said don't mean nothing, man, because I agree with a lot of what he said. I just voiced my opinion about how I feel about that particular topic, because I understand why Steve did it, because he's trying to figure out how else he's going to get the men to come together. So I understand why he said what he said. I'm not against him for that at all. To stop the division amongst the men. To stop this damn game playing. I just approach it in a different way than Steve is all. I think you need to be called out for it. You need to realize that life isn't a game, a sport, a competition, an arena. You got to stop competing against each other. We got to lose that mentality. I don't care if it's about who's more successful or not. Lose the mentality, because it should never be about who's more successful. How about looking out for each other? How about having real care? That's where it should come from. It should never be a game, a sport, a competition. We shouldn't be competing against each other as human beings. We should be working together. But we're doing the exact opposite. We're competing against each other, throwing each other under the bus, and not working together. And that is what's wrong with our society, all the way across the board. And how people can't see how corrupt that is, then they wonder why you're in the shape you're in your country and around the world. How would you not be in the shape you're in with that kind of mentality? You're on a dead-end street. Exactly. I agree with Sergeant Pepper. Okay, Peppers here, whatever you want to call him. Totally. There should be more brotherhood. Totally agree with him. Thank you for that statement, because that needed to be said. So I appreciate that. We got to lose the game mentality, people. Not just in the dating arena, but in life altogether. It shouldn't be about one-upping each other. It shouldn't be about who's more successful. You can't go through life that everything's a damn game, a sport, a competition, an arena, competing against each other in everything you do in life. That is self-destruction within itself. If you want to destroy society and bring that society to its knees, you just keep going with that mentality, and that's exactly what you'll do. That's exactly what the results of that will lead to. And in the manosphere, we need people to get over themselves and start being honest. And in the manosphere, recognize the common denominator. Understand that men going their own way, if it was done for real, was the answer to the problems we're facing. But because you're not doing it for real, and you're being a bunch of lying, fake, and frauds, you'll never solve the issue. Because you're not willing to correct the problem. And that's probably because of these people who think they still need to have all for them selfish selves again. Greed. Greed, power, corruption. Ego, which is the same thing as greed and power. Yeah. The money, the tool that's keeping you enslaved. Yeah. There's our biggest enemies right there. The tool, which is money. Yep. Ego. That's right. Power and greed. That is our biggest tools of corruption right there, that we all have to be able to overcome if we're ever going to fix anything in this world. And then you got to try to start having care again. And that care is not about number one. That care is about everybody in general. You care for perfect stranger on the street as much as you care about yourself. When you can get to that point right there, now we're talking about being able to stand up against evil and win and take our lives back and bring the genders back together again. But until them things that I just listed off happen, not a damn thing will ever change. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to get to see the self-destruction of your own selves. And you're going to get to watch history replay itself, and you're going to get to watch millions and millions of people die, including yourself, most likely. Because of stupidity. Because stupidity does not discriminate. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try to see what I can do with the OBS Studio, but I got a feeling it's YouTube blocking me, Google, from using that. And that could very well be, that's what my feeling is by everything I've already done. And if that would be the case, then the only thing I can tell you is if that is the case, that YouTube is the one that's actually stopping me from the live stream, then I'm sure they will stop me here again too. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. We'll see. If you don't see me on a live stream again here tomorrow or the day after or whatever, don't worry. I'll let you know. One way or another, you'll be able to get the message that I've been blocked, and you'll know that I'm not able to live stream because Truth hurts some scumbags again. And that's what Truth normally does, is hurt scumbags. But with that being said, I'm going to get on out of here, and you all have a good one.